I don't even need to introduce him. Chris Marshallek, Crypto.com founder. Take it away.
Thanks for having me, Ryan, and fantastic hoodie. I'm very happy to say that we are matching today in terms of our outfits. Awesome. Look, why don't I just flip over to full screen for the presser? I'll try to keep it really short so we have more time for the conversation, because I think that's where the value is for our audience. So crypto.com, all right. I don't really like talking about myself, but just a brief intro. I'm a lifelong entrepreneur. I've built 3 startups before founding crypto in 2016. So for me, it's been like 20 years of building companies. And some of these startups were acquired. Some of them went to like 100 million from zero. But I think the key point here is that building companies is what I do, and I deploy all my learnings into turning crypto.com into something that will last decades. So we started with a very simple belief. We believe that it's your basic human right to control your money, your data, and your identity. And I think if any of you open your Twitter today, you will see in real time that this is the defining issue of our times. And blockchain technology has really the potential for us to build simply a better, more equitable society. I believe really firmly that the next Facebook or next Google are going to come out from our space. So our vision is cryptocurrency in every wallet. It's about changing how money is being moved, spent, and invested, designing beautiful, simple products that simplify this fairly complex blockchain technology, and providing a positive impact to people's lives. And our job in this industry is to accelerate the transition to cryptocurrency, so that the size of the overall industry grows, and eventually those groundbreaking products start to appear. So there's a bunch of challenges to driving adoption of cryptocurrencies, and they cover all 3 key use cases: payment, trading, and financial services. So from the basic stuff like limited gateways between fiat and crypto, to high cost, the difficulty in understanding of cryptocurrency as a financial services play, and for new people that come to this industry, it's extremely difficult to understand. And to wrap this up, I think you can boil it down to 2 major issues. One is, what can I do with this today that provides value for me? And the second one is the security and trust. We've over the last decade, we didn't do a particularly good job of inspiring trust as an industry. So without this, it's going to be very hard to go mainstream. So we need to make sure that that this is addressed. So what we do today, it's basically building an entire ecosystem covering trading, payment, and financial services. On the trading front, we've got our retail app and an institutional exchange. On the payment fronts, we've got the only crypto debit card that ships right now in US, Europe, Asia, and soon Canada. We've got our own payment solution that we're building, Crypto.com Pay, which is an alternative to the traditional networks and can process crypto transactions natively. And on the financial services, we've got a full suite of products, including lending, interest accounts, as well as a robo-advisory product. So a few of developments on our crypto exchange offering. In order to make this relevant to this audience, I think it's the best way to put it simply like this. We've got this massive retail flow that is growing, and that makes us an interesting venue for institutions. So our institutional trading team can provide you guys with a capital efficient way to trade profitably. And we just started 6 months ago, so it's still in beta phase, but there's already a lot of features, and margin trading is coming next, and futures are coming soon. We're promoting it quite heavily to grow the retail flow on the exchange, so that there is substantial liquidity for the institutions to play with. And this month is our 4th anniversary, so we're running a large Bitcoin promo at the end of the month. So go and check it out too; it's pretty cool. in terms of the developments on Crypto.com exchange, we focused a lot on improving performance, scalability, and resilience. So we're redesigning the architecture to make it truly scalable, and we're looking at 20-30x increase in our end-to-end transaction speed in the next couple of months. So I think it's very important to invest, bringing the best minds in this on the engineering front, and invest continuously in building a really robust architecture before we can start onboarding super large institutions. So that's what we're doing. On the payment side, as I mentioned, the MCO Visa card is now shipping globally, and this is the only card that is shipping globally. And we've just announced a week ago that we will let other players in the crypto industry ride on our rails. So you can basically launch your own brand crypto card as a part of our white label program. So if you have interest, if you run an exchange or wallet or a project, you can just DM me on Twitter, and I'll connect you with the right guys on our team to deal with this. We view this also as a part of our mission. We think this is an important product to bridge the gap between fiat and crypto worlds. So we want to get as many of these out as possible with strong partners. Next, on the financial services, we just launched our non-custodial wallet, and this is an MVP on top of which we plan to build the most useful and powerful suite of DeFi products, including lending, savings, and more. So look for more updates on that front from us. So all this activity resulted in a pretty decent growth. We doubled our user base in 6 months from Q1 to Q3. We are now at over 2 million users. If you compare those 2 quarters, our transaction volume grew 4 times, AUM 2x, and Q2 we've done April and May, both are record-breaking months for us. So strong double-digit per month growth continues, and the company right now has a little over 350 people, and we'll just continue executing as our vision to complete this this ecosystem and drive the adoption further. Thanks a lot, and I'm going to switch it back to the camera mode so that we can do the Q&A.
Masterful. You got the hang of this. That was seamless. So thank you for the kickoff there. So we got about 10 minutes for a Q&A that really could last, I think, an hour. And keeping in mind that we've got a pretty large audience of folks that have sat through 15 presentations on other token projects, all of whom are also our registry partners like Crypto.com. And the first thing that comes to mind with a project like yours is you've got the company, and it seems that there are real metrics and real KPIs that you're tracking that are moving up and to the right, right? So it's not just number go up, but how do you think about running like a traditional business, traditional P&L, and then incorporating a token with real novel utility behind it into all of these different products? Because I think that's kind of the glue that I think holds everything together. And then we can kind of jump off from there. And I want to ask a couple of questions on some of the other services. So it looks like I jinxed it, is what just happened. Chris Marshalik will be right back after he refreshes his page, I hope. While we are waiting, I'd encourage everybody that has not already checked out our asset pages, you go over to messari.io/crypto.com and their MCF token. They have a full profile where you can see the ins and outs and full disclosures. They have one of the most thorough profiles on Messari. We didn't miss a beat. I gave a quick plug for your registry profile. Fantastic. So how does the token tie everything together? And then we can kind of riff from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So as a company builder and product builder, how I view this is just like a kind of a toolbox for innovation. So you can build new products with it. I'll give you one example, like, for example, our card, right? It's a Visa card, but you earn cashback in crypto. So it provides us with a way to reward and incentivize user to perform certain actions. And I think that's a very powerful use case and tool to help us grow the product faster, because we can align the incentives of the user experience and drive the user growth faster with the token than without it. So I think it's very powerful.
Mm-hmm. You've got 4 or 5 different lines of business that you talked about in the presentation. How do those break down in terms of priorities? Is there one favorite child? I guess obviously there is some interplay between the different services, but the debit card is the white label debit card is the most recent product. It's certainly based on the metrics that you just shared in terms of active users and transaction volume really taken off. But how do you think about the other constituent parts versus that as kind of the newest and highest growth maybe?
Well, when you look at those 3 areas, payments, trading, and finance, our strategic view is that payments is our customer acquisition engine, and we are keen to subsidize this part to grow our user base fast. And today, the trading is where most of the revenue is generated, but we continue to invest and build on the financial services side, because my view is that 2021, 2022, the financial services piece is actually going to be the major revenue driver for the whole business. I would say that companies that have this kind of ecosystem where you can play across different product lines and even product segments are in a better competitive position. A good example that we are trying to recreate in our business is Amazon. Competing against Amazon is super hard because they can use their AWS business to subsidize their e-commerce business and continue to invest in things like logistics and whatnot, so that it's super difficult to compete with. And as a whole, the sum of parts is worth more, and it's worth more hard to compete against. So that's what we're trying to build. But it's obviously very hard because you need to juggle so many priorities from the product roadmap and resources perspective.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a saying: startups don't starve, they drown, right? In terms of prioritization. Now you have a much larger team and a much larger war chest that you're leveraging, and you've got the actual growth to back it up. One thing that I'm curious to learn more about is where DeFi fits into this, right? Because this evening session is mostly about institutional investment, which that's going to be one part of Crypto.com's platform, but there's a very strong retail component as well. Yeah. And I'm curious if I think Mike Morrow maybe was the one that just made the point that we're basically rebuilding components of Wall Street. Now they're going to look a little bit different, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that, even if some hardcore crypto maximalists or cypherpunks might have something to say about that. There's nothing inherently wrong with it, but there is always kind of the nagging issue in the back of many users' minds. Am I just trading the devil I know for the devil I don't when it comes to re-centralizing some of these services? So I'd imagine DeFi has to become a very important part, not just for you, but for any entrepreneur stack that's developing in this ecosystem. Where does that fit in, and how do you capture economics and maintain yourself as a going concern with that as a business model that needs to be integrated?
So think about it like this, our belief is your basic human right to control money, data, and identity. So this is absolutely central to the core of what we believe in. And we are in the fortunate position that we've got now a substantial size of team and growing really fast. We've got a lot of engineering talent, and we've got the distribution with a multi-million user customer base. So we've got everything to make it happen. If you look at other companies that are trying to be in DeFi space today, they have no revenue model, very limited resources. Yeah, you raise some money, but it's not sustainable today. So we have the opportunity to invest in this and really build a powerful, useful product that can compete against any product out there. And I think the UX challenges and the engineering challenges are so difficult that there's not too many people who can actually do it well. So I'm very excited about it. I think this is the future. It aligns with our vision and our mission. So we will continue to be very aggressive. I want our DeFi wallet to be the best wallet out there within the next 12 months.
Security has been top of mind, I think, across the board for you guys. Talk about your approach to security, and maybe let's separate the centralized services from the DeFi services, because there's only so much you can control in DeFi. You mentioned you want to have the top DeFi wallet. Well, every single application that launched in Q1 had some catastrophic flaw or socially engineered vulnerability. So it's not just the code, right? There's the social elements and this kind of community elements to DeFi engineering that I think creates other security holes. And I'm wondering if the process is the same or how you build around that for your core centralized products versus everything else.
It's definitely more complex because you've got new attack vectors, but the principles remain the same. We've got a defense in-depth setup where we've built a strong security culture that covers the entire company, and we've got probably like 10% of our headcount focused solely on security today. So as we build the product goes through the same type of review as the centralized services, and on top of this, we've got those new attack vectors that we need to take care of. And we don't only do it in-house. We work with some of the best minds in the industry, like Kudelski Security and a few other companies. So it's tough, and I think that you can't really use the old Facebook mantra of let's go fast and break things. I mean, we're talking about people's money, right? And in my presentation, I spoke about the importance of trust, right? So we must make sure that the products that we release in DeFi space are safe for the users, and it's extremely complex because we may secure our products, and if we rely on a protocol that can be compromised, well, that's a problem. So we will have to tread very carefully and make sure that it's safe for our users to use. And again, it's our brand on the line here, so we are very, very careful.
Excellent. I think the one question, since we have about 1 minute left here, is that I've always wanted to ask is the story behind how you acquired Crypto.com and why you made that strategic decision early, because it's obviously such a high profile brand. If you're trying to build all the different services that you're building and that you've been able to scale up successfully, I mean, it's killer real estate. But it's one of those things where you have to do it almost from inception. So it's almost like pushing your chips in before you even have product market fit. Am I getting that wrong, or
no? You're getting it 100% right. No, you're getting 100% right.
Really ballsy move then.
Yeah, no, look, people thought we were crazy. I mean, you have to remember, this was like mid 2018. Like things have fallen off the cliff, and when you're building a product and a company, you need conviction. You need to believe that you will find a way to make it work. And I think that we believe in the fundamentals of this industry, the groundbreaking change that this technology brings to the table. And we believe that this decade is going to be the decade of crypto. So we made the move, and it looked as a risky bet in mid 2018, and now every day it looks like a good bargain that we struck. I'd say so. As the 15th largest crypto asset right now with the MCO token, Chris, I would ask, as I usually ask where to find you as in the company, but I think that should be obvious. If people want to follow you on Twitter or get in touch with the team, what are some of the other handles and social media that you have? So follow Crypto.com at Crypto.com on Twitter. We've got this 4th anniversary special BTC at 50% off with $2 million allocation on 30th of June. So it's a good reason to follow us. Excellent. Chris Marcellek from Crypto.com. Thank you very much for joining us.